We're back at the Emergency Operations Center, just like old times. Last time I was here was Hurricane Ida. Today, a much weaker storm is approaching Tangipahoa as we record this with Parish President Robby Miller. No, this is no Ida event, but on the other hand, we have to take it seriously because if yours is the home that sustains damage, why, it's your whole world.
That's true, Ken. And look, we've had our share in Tangipahoa Parish, well, Louisiana in general, of Category 1 hurricanes that seem to be a lot more damaging and stressful on our resources than even stronger storms. So we take all of them serious. We've been activated since early this morning and waiting for the storm just like everybody else. And at the same time, we're making sure that our shelters are ready to go. We have people in the shelter. Our public works guys have been making sandbags for the people who wanted to pick up ready-made sandbags. That's about to stop right now. And then they'll be ready to roll for emergencies and or cleanup as soon as the storm finishes tonight.
So this will be a one-night event.
It appears to be, yeah. I think we just saw a minute ago, it looks like it's making landfall right now. If it stays on track, continues to move like it is, it should be through here by somewhere in the 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And, although other than being dark, we should be finished. And I understand that the weather's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow.
I noticed, for example, the tornado watch is through 11 p.m. our time. So that tells me that the powers that be in the weather forecasting world, they think it'll be over by 11.
It seems that way. And if you look at the radar and you advance it as they think it's going to run, it's into Mississippi by like 1 or 2 in the morning. So, we should start seeing the tail end of it should be finished out. We should be able to wake up in the morning and provided you have power and no trees down, I think life's going to be pretty normal tomorrow morning for most people. The Entergy over the last 3 years has done a lot of work to harden their system to make it more robust. And so we'll see how that goes against the wind. And of course, if trees fall on the line, that's a completely different story.
Well, the best tree clearance I've ever seen was Hurricane Ida. A lot of trees came down. In fact, many are still down in the woods and will stay there. But the point I'm getting at is there are sadly fewer trees around.
Well, that's true. There's a plus side to it that they don't have as many to take the lines down, but all it takes is the wrong location for a tree to take out a whole section of their system. But I know that Entergy has assured us that they have crews ready to roll. They're stationed and waiting to see where they need to respond, just like our public works guys are going to be ready to roll as soon as it clears and we know where to go.
One great thing about what you've created here with this Emergency Operations Center is the synergy of working together. For example, the school system is here, they're represented, and they're going to have to determine tomorrow what schools can reopen Friday. I mean, with 36 or so campuses, you'd expect there'd be a little damage, and that damage assessment has yet to take place, but parish government helps a lot of times with that.
Well, we do, and the idea of having all of the various organizations throughout the parish who provide services, who provide for whether it be response or whether it be actual real service that our citizens use are here. I mean, we have state police, sheriff's office, hospitals, child services, DOTD. Everybody's here. Entergy, Atmos is here. I mean, all of them are here to make sure that if their service is interrupted or their service is part of what we need to respond to, they can make that response with us right away.
And we're expecting that this will not be a major catastrophic event, but on the other hand, say there was a catastrophic failure of internet in the parish, God forbid. You've got communications resources here. Even if you went all the way back to two-way radios, you're set up here.
We are. We can go all the way back to the ham radio. We have a ham operator in there that's making sure that we're ready to roll and can communicate. And from an internet perspective, we have actually four providers into the EOC where we'd have to have pretty bad all the way to Starlink. I think we would be able to get information out as whether our citizens could get the information or not, but we'd get it to radio stations who North Shore Media has been a great partner to make sure that they're always getting info out. And we'll continue to work that way the best we can to get everything out to the folks. And I will encourage everybody to pay attention to our social media. Just go to tangipahoa.org. There's links there to take you everywhere you need to go. There's stories, updates there. If you're driving around, use Waze because they're updating our maps as soon as we update them. They're live updates. So we've done a lot of hard work over the last several years to make sure that we get the information out as quickly as possible and as effortlessly as possible.
Now, on the other hand, let's think about what problems we would expect to encounter. Somewhere in the parish, there's going to be a tree down across a road, right?
Oh, there's that. We have that happen on blue sky days. So we expect that there'll be some trees down. The hope is they'll just go. Worst case, they'll go in the ditch. Best case, they'll go in the ditch. Worst case, they cross the road and have power lines in them. So we'll be identifying those as quickly as possible. Get the right resources, whether it just be clear the road or clear the power line, clear the trees, get the power lines fixed. I expect there'll be some power outages scattered throughout the parish, but that remains to be seen. We've got to get through the storm to know that, but we're ready to respond with whatever it is.
What also would not be surprising would be isolated flooding, and this is true. People know they live in a flood-prone area. The southernmost part of the parish, starting at Manshag, but really, Brown Road in Ponchatoula, I could start naming roads that constantly seem to be flooding. And one of the things about the drainage study you just did is that there's some neighborhoods that just are almost hopeless from a drainage standpoint. You just have to elevate the houses.
Well, that's true. That study did show that. But there are roads. We know Weinberger, we know Thibodeau, Brown, like you said. Those tend to be low, even if it's just a afternoon thunder shower that's really, really hard, and that area is just low, and the water takes a little while to get out. Right now, the lake is pushed in, so to go forward a few days, we're concerned about the amount of rain that we get. We're going to be watching that closely. We'll be watching the river forecast after the rain finishes to know if we're going to have a flood issue, because the river really can't drain into the lake right now because the lake is high, pushed in, and that's what happened to us in 2016. So we'll be watching that closely. The initial forecast that just came out this morning indicates that we'll be fine, but those low-lying areas will be a problem.
Most of the rivers, the 8 tidal rivers, certainly here on the North Shore, they're all going to be under flood warnings if they're not already. And the Tangipahoa River is all the way from, Hammond or Robert to Osika and all points in between. So we just have to wait and see if the river is going to be able to handle the water. And we might not know that till tomorrow, frankly.
Well, and depending on how much rain we get, it could even, for us in the southern end of the parish, it could be even Friday and Saturday, because it takes, 24 hours basically to get from the top of the parish to the bottom. We've seen that where we will be watching the Kentwood gauge, we'll be watching the Amite gauge, the Robert gauge, and see what's going on how long it's going to get to Ponchatoula, and see where our problem areas are.
But again, this is a rapidly moving storm. It's not very large in circumference, and we expect by 11 o'clock tonight the worst will be over. And I hate that it's coming at night. Somehow it's more terrifying at night. You hear that wind howling. But on the other hand, it'll be great that by midnight we'll know one way or another most of our questions answered.
Well, that's what it looks like, and we're hopeful we would really be excited if it would speed up even a little bit more and get on out here earlier. But we're gonna be here watching it. We're gonna make sure that we know what happened. We're gonna then immediately be talking to the Weather Center about rainfall, what we think is gonna happen with the river, looking for if anybody to kind of get there. To go clean up. But if you happen to be out, which we don't want you to go drive around, but if you happen to see something, call 911 to report it so we know where it is. The sheriff's office and our guys will be riding the roads. We'll have people looking for the issues, and then we'll jump right on them.
What about a person who needs help, whatever that may be?
911. If they have an emergency, you call 911 and we'll filter it to the right person. They're actually answering the phone here and transferring them and making sure that the right resource gets to it, whether it be a current sheriff's office issue right now or an ambulance need or something like that. That'll be handled. If it has to do with the storm, it gets kicked over to the EOC, and we route it through the process.
What else do you want to share with us?
Well, I just want people to make sure they pay attention to our media. We have the accurate news. We're going to get it out to you as fast as we can to make sure that you know what's going on. And please, after the storm clears, let us get a chance to go out and take a look and start looking and getting things cleaned up before you start riding around to look. Just stay home till we start giving the all clear. We'd appreciate that.